Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS, presented by Fisherman's Marine and Outdoor. Now, it's real time.
I'm excited about this one. We finally get a chance to see and talk with Mr. Bruce Polley from the CCA Oregon. I've had a chance to interview Bruce for many years now, it seems like. Not quite 100, but enough to where we've been able to get some very good information from him over the years on what the CCA's been up to, how things have been going, and what they've been working on, right? Which, thank goodness for the CCA here in Oregon and Washington, of course, and Hatchery and Wild coexist, don't forget them. But Bruce, it's great to see you. I miss you, man. We haven't seen you in the studio forever.
Well, I'm still around, Owen.
Well, I know you are, man. I'm lucky enough to have my camera guy, that's Daryl, everyone that's out there getting our footage for us from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show. Bruce is live. So first things first, Bruce, how you been, man? Have you been doing anything fun, staying busy?
Oh, duck season. I think I probably sent you a few text messages during duck season and, you know, just trying to get retired and figure out how many days a week I get to fish now.
Let's hope the opportunities are there. Those are some of the things that you at the CCA work on, isn't it? You're trying to get those days that you help us all maybe get more opportunities to have. What are you looking forward to? Are you going to be doing any steelhead fishing, or are you going to be chasing some, looking forward to spring Chinook season?
You know, I'll probably fish a few steelhead. You know, I've got as you know, I'm a doryman, so I've got a house down in Pacific City. So, you know, we chase some steelhead on the Nestucca right there. We kind of do the local program. We get up late, have breakfast, then go hit the river, and then back home by 2 o'clock. So it makes it pretty nice way to fish steelhead down there. But there's plenty of stuff going on with advocacy work. I mean, I think you heard yesterday they listed the southern resident killer whales as endangered in Oregon, which one of the outfalls of that's going to be, you know, making more Chinook hatchery fish to feed them. And at the same time, the Army Corps of Engineers is doing what they seem to do every few years, and that's threatened to cut back on hatchery plants in the Willamette system. So obviously that's something that's front and center for us. So we're going to be working diligently on that. So you'll be hearing more about it.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, I'm not going to be bringing up any information there, everyone. CCA is obviously right in the midst of that. I'm going to let them speak to that whenever they have the opportunity. But that recently just came out about the Corps of Engineers wanting to, again, cut back more hatchery production, if not the majority, if not all, of the production on the Willamette system. But you touched base on something real that just recently happened, putting those killer whales on the endangered species list. Does that really maybe help at all with putting more hatchery Chinook into the system? I mean, is there any influence there? I mean, when the CCA gets involved, is that a topic?
No, that was part of the ruling from the commission, from the ODFW commission yesterday, that one of their reactions to this is going to be the increased Chinook production in the Columbia system, which are the fish that the southern resident killer whales feed on.
So in the end, it's a good thing for the killer whale population, of course, everyone, which is something that we all are very concerned with, unquestionably. But it might put more fish in the system for our user group, right, Bruce?
Yeah, it depends on where they decide to release them, but yeah. So having that production out of the Leeburg hatchery, which, as you remember, we fought so hard to get moved over to ODFW operating, and keeping all the hatcheries operating, which is the mitigation responsibility of the Army Corps of Engineers. For those that don't know, the Army Corps built all the flood control dams in the Willamette Valley that allow us to have, you know, cities in the Willamette Valley that don't go underwater every spring.
Right.
And as part of their agreement, part of their mitigation agreement, is they would make the same number, same poundage of hatchery fish return to those systems by doing it with a hatchery at the base of the dam. None of the dams had fish passage in them. So, but now there's this effort to try to like force these flood control dams to be allowing fish passage. And that's what we saw in the South Santiam this year, where they drained it all the way down to the bottom of the pool and filled the Santiam with mud and you know, took the water clarity away from City of Sweet Home and others. So there's a lot of weird things that are happening in the Willamette system, and we're trying to stay right in the middle of all of it.
Well, you guys are, and thank goodness, again, I say it all the time, Bruce, that without the CCA here, I don't really want to know where we would be. It would be significantly worse, everyone. Let's just, I'll just put it to you that way. But I got to back up a little bit. How can the Corps of Engineers, when they do put these dams in, and the responsibility that was put upon them to get the hatchery fish into the system to replace that poundage that would have been lost, how can they legally even say the words that they're going to stop production or stop funding hatchery production? Isn't that something that they could literally just be sued or pulled right over the coals with?
Well, you would think, and that's what that's the same battle we've had with them over the last number of years. But what they'll argue is they're doing a lot of things to help get out migrating smolts out and improve habitat. So since they're spending money on that, they shouldn't have to spend money on wild fish. And my point's always been, as soon as you're increasing in wild fish equal the amount of hatchery fish you've been producing, then we can talk about ratcheting down hatcheries. But as you know, over the last 20 years, we've lost tons and tons of hatchery fish already all over the state. So every time it's argued, they always say, oh, we just want to take a little bit. Oh, we just want to take a little bit. Well, it's a little bit added on to a lot that's already been gone. So we're not going to give an inch until we're not going to give an inch on the hatchery production that we're getting now out of the Willamette system. So,
Bruce, and I know that we've talked about this before, but we've got a lot of viewers that are out there, some of which are familiar with you, some of which might not be. What you're saying there, how would the CCA actually get involved? What is it that you would do to try to counter this, what the Corps of Engineers is actually saying right now? What is it that you would actually do?
Well, great question. I mean, this is what we actually do. I mean, this is what CCA does. We're going to rally our grassroots membership. We're going to have membership weigh in with their legislative officials. Federally, the federal representatives are most important in this case, but even statewide. So I think when the Corps does this, they say, well, let's take away some hatcheries and see if they squeal. And if we don't squeal, let's say, well, I guess they really didn't like them that much. So we got to squeal. We got to make a lot of noise. We got to meet with our legislators, encourage them to, the guys who write the checks to the Corps, make sure that they understand that this hatchery production is very important. That's what we've done in the past. Peter DeFazio was actually very helpful in that in the past, and others. I mean, Kurt Schrader was great for all the years that he was a rep. So, not to mention on the sea lion issues. So this is what CCA does. We take the wants and needs of our fisheries and turn it into political action to get things actually done, instead of just everybody wearing the same color T-shirt and hoping for the best. So this is what we do.
Yeah, talk is cheap. If you're not able to get involved in the fight or get in there for real and make them understand and feel it, they'll just keep pushing us over every single time. There's no question of that. For folks that are watching, Bruce, how could they help? I mean, if they're hearing this for the first time, maybe some of the things that you should all understand is the economic impact that our fisheries have here in the Northwest is mind-boggling. It starts with a B. If you start removing this opportunity from all the folks that travel here from all over the country, the world, to take part in what we have here as our outdoor resource, you're talking about losses of hundreds of millions of dollars, literally. It's not a joke. That's exactly what would happen. Sure. How can they get involved? How could they, maybe help in some way?
Well, the best way is to become a member of CCA. I mean, we're here at the Sportsman Show. We're in A Hall, the old wooden hall. Stop by. We have some great gifts for people that sign up and renew their membership, sign up for the first time or renew their membership here at the show. You're going to come away with a free hat, with a 2-year subscription to Salmon Steelhead Journal, and a work knife sharpener.
Nice.
Something that's pretty handy to keep in the boat for tuning up your fillet knife. And I'll be here today if you want to stop by and talk to me. That's probably not a big draw, but yeah, join CCA. We communicate by email with our members. We will have opportunities to get engaged, whether it's as simple as writing a letter or contacting your local legislator. You'd be surprised how easy that is. I mean, your local legislators in the state, they'll have coffees in your neighborhood, coffee meetings on a Saturday morning, and when you walk in wearing a CCA hat or a CCA logo, and you say, hey, I'm a constituent, and fishing and fish are very important to me, and I'd like you to pay attention to these issues, they'll listen. That's your opportunity, and it's just that simple. You can write a quick letter to their office, you can give them a phone call, but yeah, that involvement and politically showing up for the fish is what makes CCA work and what makes us as effective as we have been for the last 15 years here in Oregon.
And it's been extremely effective, Bruce. We all appreciate the efforts from yourself and all the other volunteers, the folks that are involved with the CCA. And it's us to keep it running, everyone. That influence needs to be there. Bruce, I'll come by today and hang out with you for a little while. We'll see if we can draw anybody in to either sign up or at least come by and learn a little bit. How's that sound?
That sounds great. It'd be good to see you, Owen.
It'll be good to see you too, sir. You take care. We'll be checking in with you again. And thanks for spending a few minutes and just giving us a little insight on what the CCA does, and maybe, you know, prompting some folks to come over and hang out and sign up and be part of the fix instead of part of the problem. But in the end, Bruce, thank you very much, sir. You have a great show, okay?
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate getting on.
You bet, Bruce. Take care, sir. All right, we're going to cut to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get or allow Daryl to have a little bit of time to reset. He's going to head over and get started with Tito Montemore from P-Line, but we're going to have my report segment coming up. We'll talk about how things went for me this week chasing steelhead, and hopefully it's not over. Hopefully this next week will be even better. We'll be right back.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive new Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.